Today's episode is sponsored by Syntu, developing technologies and solutions for managing and leveraging the 3D data coming from the digitization of the real world in the cloud. Visit them at syntu.com.
Aerospace and defense manufacturing.
Machines and automation.
Additive manufacturing.
Smart manufacturing.
The global manufacturing economy.
Welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals, powered by SME. From the design screen to the shop floor to final assembly, we drive the conversation about making manufacturing smarter by connecting people who are passionate about manufacturing.
Hello, and welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals. I'm your host, Amy Bryson, contributing lead editor of Smart Manufacturing Magazine. Today we'll be talking about how reality capture helps solve the complexity of Industry 4.0 project implementation by making vast amounts of data compatible with the cloud. And I know that's something that our listeners are very eager to learn more about, and we are lucky to be joined by a guest who is an expert in reality capture. Dominique Pouliquen is the CEO and co-founder of Syntu. Now, Syntu is a company that develops technologies and solutions for managing and using the 3D data coming from the digitization of the real world or reality data. And on a daily basis, Dominique runs product management and business development for the company. And before co-founding Syntu, Dominique held several positions, including product management and business development at Autodesk in the Reality Solutions team. So we have the right person for this conversation with us today. Thank you for joining us, Dominique, and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Amy. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dominique Pouliquen. I've been in computer graphics and reality capture for many, many years, probably more than 35 years. And I'm a kind of subject matter expert in everything reality capture. And so before co-founding Syntu, I used to work for Autodesk. Autodesk based in San Francisco, that you all familiar with. I was running the recap team, which means the reality capture team. We had a product called Recap. I was leading this team, and Recap really helped democratize access to a huge point cloud data, which is a kind of data you get from a laser scanner. But I will come back to this later. So I've been in this reality capture business for many years. I also co-founded and sold the first company to Autodesk. This company was dealing with photogrammetry technology, which is yet another kind of technology dealing more with computer vision stuff, giving the possibility to extract 3D data again from a set of 2D photos, which is photogrammetry is a core technology being used for everybody flying drones, and now being able to extract 3D data from a drone photo. So I was kind of one of the first company. I created one of the first companies doing this, which I sold to Autodesk in 2008. So this is how I came to this business.
And when did you found Syntu?
Syntu was created in 2013. I joined them in 2016, 17, and to take the lead on the team and to focus the energy of the PhDs that co-founded the company initially to focus their energy on everything, industry and what we call AEC, which is architectural engineering and construction. Okay, so I've been with this team for 7 years now, 7 to 8 years. So Syntu is a American and French company. Okay, it was created in France as a spin-off from a lab, with 2 or 3 PhDs having developed very cool, compression technologies. And what we did, in fact, when I met this team, I told them, no, you should focus on solving a big issue we have in the industry coming with 3D laser scanners, is that what do I do with these huge, massive point cloud, which are not very easy to share and not easy to collaborate with. This is a core technology that we started developing then.
So that is the problem you set out to solve. I read somewhere where you were talking about democratizing access to things called point clouds and making them viewable as surfaces. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about that and how that relates to where reality capture is beneficial for manufacturers?
Yes, absolutely. So reality capture is an umbrella term that covers many different, technologies. You can do reality capture with a simple 360 video camera. You can also do this with older devices like a Matterport, device, or even now with your smartphone, you have some LiDAR capability. You can survey, some 3D data with this. Of course, when it comes to industry workflow or use cases, we are mostly dealing with technology that we call laser scanning. So 3D laser scanning has been around for, say, 50 years. This is not a new technology. Okay, 3D laser scanning is a possibility to send a laser beam in this space and capture a very accurate 3D point cloud. Okay, so the people developing those kind of devices are called Leica. They're called Trimble, Faro, all kinds of manufacturers. And what good news for the industry is that there are more and more of these devices for a cheaper price and much easier to use. So there has been a real, democratization of, laser scanning, 3D laser scanning. Now you can also have mobile laser scanning. You can have a backpack or a handheld device, and you can capture a big site in a matter of hours when it used to take days a while ago. So good news is that there are more and more of those devices. Still, you add up with a point cloud that is huge and massive. We're talking about terabytes of data when it comes to a single manufacturing site or plant. Okay, so the technology that we invented at Syntu will now take these huge point cloud data sets and will compress the data by turning that into 3D meshes or 3D surfaces. And the kind of data that we manipulate or that we have in Syntu is very similar to what you get in a video game. Okay, so by doing this point cloud to mesh transformation, not only we compress the data about 20 times, so much easier to upload to the cloud, but we also make it much easier to view, navigate, and interpret. Basically, you navigate your manufacturing facility like in a video game.
Yeah, I would imagine that helps make it usable and functional for both non-experts and experts who, are used to managing different types of data in different formats. But this sounds like it's very user-friendly for folks on the shop floor. And you mentioned earlier, the need to collaborate, which so many manufacturers, as they're embarking on smart manufacturing journeys, the data silos and the segmentation of information is such a huge obstacle. I'm wondering what you're seeing, any trends that you're seeing, and how some manufacturers are adopting new technologies and processes to help squash some of those silos.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is the number one reason why we want the data to be in the cloud instead of a desktop on a disk, is to make it shareable, distributable, and collaborative, okay? And we've seen that, for example, when I was still at Autodesk working on Recap. Recap is a desktop application. So they do a really good point at viewing point cloud, but still the data is in your disk. So sharing data would mean sending hard disk to your teams, and this is not sustainable. And at that time, okay, one point cloud being scanned by a team would probably be used by 50, 60 people in the company, using software like Revit or AutoCAD. But now, for example, with Syntu, we can see that in some of our customers, they have more than 4,000 people accessing the data. Okay? You see, so there are many, many, many more people accessing the data because it's in the cloud, because it's easy to view and interpret inside the Syntu viewer. And that's a huge difference. Okay, so it's not only for expert CAD engineers or BIM managers. It's for everybody doing something on the floor. Electricians, plumbers, waivers dealing with ABP, whatever.
What are some of the other specific challenges that you're seeing your manufacturing professionals grapple with, and how can Syntu help resolve those challenges?
Yeah, so the big tendency in this industry for market segment is what we call digital twin. Okay, everybody wants to have a digital twin of their manufacturing facility or their oil and gas, a refinery or oil rig or whatever. But getting a virtual replica of these facilities is a huge issue because these are very complex environments. So what we claim is that the foundation to get a good digital twin is to know your as-built conditions. And knowing your as-built conditions is reality capture, okay? So reality capture, we call it the element zero of your digital twin because you need to know your existing conditions. Sometimes people have already a CAD model of their facility that they use for simulations and all kinds of stuff. Everything about digital twin is about doing simulations, okay? A digital twin is a cloud-connected CAD model, basically. But what if this CAD model is not the exact replica of the shop, you see? Because there has been so many changes happening, over the life of your facility. Not all those changes has been, propagated in your CAD model. So you end up doing simulations in your CAD model that do not reflect the reality. So when you come then on site for doing the actual job of, making a new production facility, production line for a new vehicle, for example, you may have simulations that are not accurate because you didn't take into account the existing conditions. So everything we do with SYN2 is enabling, digital twin workflow, taking into account the as-built conditions of your facility.
Wow. When we talk about smart manufacturing solutions for customers, how would you define SYN2 as a smart manufacturing solution? I mean, we talked a little bit about, it being an agnostic solution. Can you capture data from a specific type of source, or can you walk us through a little bit about, the nuts and bolts of how it works as a smart manufacturing solution?
Absolutely. So SYN2 is a hardware agnostic solution. That means we can handle all kinds of reality capture devices being, a laser scanner on the tripod from Leica, Faro, Trimble, Topcon, whoever, or mobile devices like coming from Navis or Geoslam or whoever, or Viametris, but also be able to handle drone data. So when you fly a drone to get the rooftop of your facility, you can also use this information and now also be able to bring in 360 images or 360 panels. So we are not only hardware agnostic, but also multi-modal. So we can take several modalities of reality capture inside our viewer. Then once you bring your reality capture data inside SYN2, and again, this will be displayed as a mesh. On the mesh, we stream it very fast. In fact, the technology we have is about viewing, but also streaming. People would call us the Netflix for 3D data because we can stream very fast, high-resolution, high-quality 3D meshes from the cloud, the same way you will stream a high-resolution video from the Netflix, cloud solution, you see. And so we can, not only we can view the reality data as a 3D mesh or 3D surfaces like in a video game, we can also include your CAD model or your existing CAD models so that you can always compare what you have as a CAD model to what you have as a reality capture data. So SYN2 is agnostic also to the type of CAD model you can bring in. It can be a Navisworks model, it can be a Revit model, it can be a Siemens model, or whatever. We are cloud connected to Autodesk Construction Cloud, so you can bring your native, Revit or Navisworks model inside SYN2. You can align the scan data to the Revit model or to the Navisworks model, and then you can run all kinds of analysis when you need to compare again your as-built condition to your CAD model. And this is one of the many features we have. But you see, so we are not only hardware agnostic on the scanning side, we're also platform agnostic on the CAD viewing, on the CAD model side as well.
That's great to hear. And I know our listeners often love to hear about stories of, you don't have to name names if we can. I know your website has some really wonderful in-depth case studies of some work that you've done with companies. So I encourage listeners after this podcast to check those out, and we'll get you a link before we wrap up today's discussion. But, if there is a customer or two in mind that can demonstrate or put some paint on the canvas about how they've employed SYN2 and solved some problems, can you walk us through maybe one or two of those?
Oh, yeah. I mean, imagine that the whole automobile industry in the US is using SYN2. Okay. So all the big guys, in Detroit, and I can name GM, General Motors, because we're about to release some information with them. But not only that, this is for the automobile manufacturing. We're also very much in the oil and gas industry with people like BP, Total Energies, ExxonMobil, and many others. We're also in the energy distribution. All these companies, they have huge digital twin mandates, and we really help them reach their goals in terms of digitizing their existing conditions, and making this available to for many, many different use cases. So, so all this automobile manufacturing, they all have engineering issues. They need to do a new retrofits. So when you need to start, building or manufacturing a new car, they change the production layout. Okay, so they change the equipment, location, and things like that. All this is simulated first. Okay, this is being simulated in a digital twin or in a CAD model, based on the fact that this is an updated information. And so most of the people now start doing those simulations on the reality capture data itself, because the reality data or the reality capture data is the exact replica at a given date of your facility. Okay. They're all using use cases range from engineering stuff when you need to bring a new MEP equipment, a new electric box, to new 3D layouts for your manufacturing, production chains. Also now we are moving very fast in everything we call asset management. So be able to manage your equipment in your facility based on the existing conditions. So we have a set of asset management, or call it asset tagging features. So we can automatically, using AI, we can automatically detect and geolocate all kinds of equipment in your scan data. Also, what we call a tag inside Synto is like a bounding box, a 3D bounding box that you can hyperlink to any other platform. So, for example, you can detect all the motor pumps inside your facility, and for each one of the motor pump, link to the SAP or Maximo or any documentation you want. So you use Synto as a way to browse your equipment, view them in their existing conditions, and add or in real time connect to the documentation of each equipment.
Well, you mentioned AI, and we talk a lot about how AI is impacting manufacturing from processes and the offerings that manufacturers are having available to them. What are some of the latest developments and innovations from your perspective that Synto is going to be incorporating, or how are you incorporating new technologies into your product roadmap?
Yeah, no, this is a good question. AI for us, we started on AI like 3-4 years ago. We already have some AI features inside the tool, inside the platform. AI for us is about giving sense to the scan data, okay, to the reality capture data. When you get a point cloud that we turn into meshes, etc., this is pure geometry. So there is not yet an interpretation of what each object is. Okay, so we use AI to give to this data to bring some spatial intelligence to this pure geometry. Okay, so we then using technologies like mesh segmentation, machine learning, on this kind of stuff, we can automatically detect, okay, this piece of geometry, this is a pump, or this is a valve, or this is an electric box. Okay, we can automatically not only detect the type or the class of object, but also, of course, we can automatically geolocate each object in your huge facility. So we know exactly how many of those pumps you have, where they are located. Yet you still have to tag that to SAP, and also that is still a pretty manual process at the end of the day, but we're getting there. So our goal for the next few years, I would say, is to completely automate this tagging process, okay? Making sure that after you have scanned your facility, ideally you would press a button and we will give a sense to every piece of geometry. We will know this is a pillar, this is a MEP, this is a pipe, this is an electric box, this is whatever, you see? So it's all about giving spatial intelligence to the geometry that you get from a laser scan. And already we can detect, I think, 20 different classes of equipment inside our engine. And we are looking to expand, of course.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's amazing that the doors that are opening with the, with the right uses and applications of technologies. Yeah. What else is coming up for Sintu? Is there anything that you'd like our listeners to know about? Are you going to be at any upcoming events or shows?
Oh yeah, we are doing so much. We are very, very technology and innovation driven company. Another big topic for this industry is what we call industrial metaverse experiences. Okay, and so I say if you take what is the difference between the CAD model and the digital twin? Already there is some difficulties here. So I would say a digital twin is a cloud connected CAD model somehow. And what is the difference between a digital twin and a metaverse experience? Okay, the big difference between the two is that with the metaverse experience, you bring the human people, also the people in the loop. Okay, you give an immersive experience. You can have a collaborative and immersive experience, and we're working heavily on that. What we have as an advantage that no competitors have is a possibility to stream those high-resolution 3D meshes, not only in the web app of Sintu, but also in game engines like Unity, Unreal, or NVIDIA Omniverse. Okay? So you can bring your existing condition, stream in real time in your game engine, and then you can enrich these existing conditions with all kinds of 3D animations or 3D simulations, including moving trucks, avatars that are moving as well, to simulate, the staff and everything like that. So we're enriching the existing conditions with all kinds of 3D simulations, and this is really huge. There is no limit. The sky is the limit here in terms of use cases. If you want to do like a training simulator, if you want to do a factory layout simulator, if you want to do a QA/QC, so you can be at scale one in your facility, collaboration with other team members, looking at problems. This is really amazing, and we have been showing a first version of that at a trade show called Industrial Immersive Week in Houston, Texas. It was very, very well received. So we're working on these aspects as well as we speak.
That's great. With all of this progression in technology in the manufacturing space, we talk a lot about this gap in talent, as the older generation of workers are leaving manufacturing, how to attract the next generation of talent. And I think the more conversation we can talk about how technology is impacting, the day-to-day experiences of people who will work in the manufacturing environment. I mean, these are really cool technologies that are impacting people's day-to-day, making their jobs more seamless, more safe, more exciting. I mean, I'm wondering if you're seeing some of that happen with some of your customers.
Oh yeah, I visited a few of those automobile companies we have as customers in Michigan, and some of them showed me how they use Sintu for all kinds of human factor simulations. Okay, when they need to design a new working place or whatever. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the terms here, but the way they bring in, the existing conditions, they do all kinds of simulations. It's all about, making sure that those workers will have a much easier way to work faster. And this is huge. Okay, so first, the people developing those applications are really, they are top experts. They are young guys. They've been, dealing with video games since 20 years now.
Yeah, the digital natives, I believe they're called.
Exactly,
yeah.
Digital natives. So they love the kind of technology we develop, of course, because we immerse themselves. I would say their factories become video games somehow, okay? But for the end user of all those simulations, being the field technician, the field operator, this is huge as well. To be honest, I'm not so familiar, with the needs of field technicians and field operators. I leave it to our customers to define that. But this is our goal. Our goal is that this huge data that is collected using those reality capture devices, those CAD models, not only could be used by experts like that, but also could be used by these people doing the real job in the field, So this is about having mobile tablets, so tablet viewers, also headsets, doing a virtual augmented reality, making this data completely available on site, on the job site, so that they can do their maintenance work, they can do preventive maintenance, and like that. This is really the ultimate goal for us.
Yeah, I mean, the ripple effect of this type of technology is so powerful. And I thank you for sharing those examples with us. We've covered quite a bit of ground today, Dominique, but I wanted to see if there's anything else you think it's important for our listeners to know.
No, I think that they should, if they have not started yet, they should first give reality capture a try. Okay, this is so easy. If they have reality capture data, it's very easy to give Synto a try. Okay, and then discuss what are the use cases. And for us, for people that are already engaged in this kind of digital twinning process, if I may say that, Synto is a solution. We are now integrating Synto in the whole ecosystem because, a complete digital twin is not only one platform. It's usually made of several platforms. You have the 3D viewer, you have the CAD models, you have SAP, you have Maximo, you have all kinds of platforms that give you. But the point is, how can you create a reference source of truth to access this information? This is what Synto is all about.
So if people want to take you up on your offer and learn more about the work that you and your team at Synto are doing, where should they go?
Synto.com. Very easy. Synto.com. And they will see all kinds of examples, customer stories. Otherwise, of course, it's sales@synto.com. It's very easy. And then we can organize a virtual demo. The good news is that to show you what Synto is about, we can do all of this online because everything we do is cloud-based, SaaS-based, so there is no need to visit you and take some of your time. So we can do a good demo in 30, 45 minutes, and this is the best way. And then you start a trial with your own data. If you don't have data, we can feed you with data. Very easy.
Wonderful. And that for our listeners is Synto. It's CINTOO.com. Well, Dominique, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us and sharing your valuable expert insights with our listeners. And I also want to thank our listeners for tuning in. Make sure that you stay up to date about what's happening in advanced and smart manufacturing and hear more podcasts by visiting us at advancedmanufacturing.org. Take care, everybody.